What do you do when you're already one of the biggest action stars in Asia, but you know audiences and fans are starting to expect the same thing from every film? In 1982, Jackie Chan found himself in exactly that position. After the success of films like Snake and the Eagle's Shadow, Drunken Master, and The Young Master, Jackie had become famous for blending martial arts with comedy. But he didn't want to spend the rest of his career making the same movie over and over again. He wanted to expand. Instead, he decided to take a risk. That risk was Dragon Lord. Today, many fans overlook this film, but in reality it's one of the most important stepping stones in Jackie's entire career. Without Dragon Lord, it's difficult to imagine him developing his later classics such as Project A or Police Story. Unlike Jackie's earlier kung fu movies, Dragon Lord places much more emphasis on sport, comedy and spectacular stunt work than traditional martial arts. Jackie wanted to prove that action didn't always need fists and swords, and you did not have to rely on the old choreography which was by this time becoming repetitive. Instead, almost anything could become exciting if filmed in the right way. Whether it was climbing enormous bund towers, chasing thieves through narrow streets, or turning a simple game into a breathtaking athletic contest, Jackie was already developing the style that would later make him an international superstar. Unfortunately, audiences at the time in Hong Kong weren't quite ready for it, and despite high expectations, Dragon Lord failed to match the box office success of his previous films. Looking back today, it almost feels like a movie released a little too early. In the film, Jackie plays Lung, a carefree troublemaker whose priorities are anything but school. Together with his loyal friend Chin, played by fellow stunt team member Mars, he spends most of his days chasing girls, getting into mischief and avoiding responsibility. Their carefree lifestyle comes to an abrupt end when they become involved with a dangerous gang, smuggling priceless Chinese treasures out of the country. It's a solid enough premise, although I'd say the story is probably the weakest part of the film. The pacing feels very uneven, and some scenes don't flow together as smoothly as they should. At times it almost feels like the plot exists simply to connect Jackie's next action sequence. But to be fair, nobody really watches a Jackie Chan film purely for the story. The action is where Dragon Lord begins to show flashes of genius. One of the film's most famous sequences is undoubtedly the extraordinary shuttlecock football match. Rather than using a football, the players keep a feathered shuttlecock airborne using almost every part of their body except their hands. It sounds simple. Watching and filming it was something else entirely. Every movement is perfectly timed, every kick precisely choreographed, and every camera angle designed to showcase the incredible athletic ability of Jackie and his stunt team. The perfectionism behind this sequence has become legendary. It reportedly took over 2,900 takes to complete one move, a world record that perfectly sums up Jackie's determination to achieve absolute perfection on screen. Another standout sequence is the famous bund tower competition. Once again, Jackie transforms a traditional event into a spectacular blend of comedy, danger, and acrobatic stunt work. Of course, no Jackie Chan film would be complete without a climactic fight scene. This time his opponent is Hapkido Master Huang In-sik, a master of Hapkido and one of the greatest kicking specialists ever to appear in Hong Kong cinema. Their battle is painful and at times brutal. Unlike many action films of the period, every kick feels powerful, and every punch or fall looks painful. There's very little trick photography here. It's skill, timing, and incredible physical commitment. Personally, while I think the fights are excellent, I don't believe it reaches the emotional highs of Jackie's later classics. But saying that, the choreography really is first-rate. Although Dragon Lord wasn't the success Jackie had hoped for, it became an invaluable learning experience. Many of the ideas first explored here, using everyday objects as part of the action, mixing large-scale comedy with dangerous stunts, and creating elaborate set pieces rather than simple fight scenes, would all be refined in the superior films he made later. In many ways, Dragon Lord is the missing link between Jackie's early kung fu period and the action and stunt legend he would soon become. If you're a Jackie Chan collector, Dragon Lord definitely deserves a place on your shelf. It may not be among his absolute masterpieces, but it's one of the most important films for understanding how his style evolved. The action remains inventive, the stunt work is outstanding, and it's fascinating to watch Jackie experimenting with ideas that would later define his career. The story lacks the tight pacing of Jackie's best work, and some scenes outstay their welcome. But that's also what makes it such an interesting watch. You're witnessing one of cinema's greatest action filmmakers pushing himself beyond the limits of the traditional martial arts movie. For me, that's reason enough to recommend it. Not a forgotten masterpiece, but an essential chapter in the story of Jackie Chan. Thankfully, you can see this movie on a great 4K UHD and Blu-ray release from 88 Films in the UK, with a new remastered transfer and some great extras. If you've seen Dragon Lord, let me know in the comments. Do you think it's an underrated gem, or do you agree that Jackie finally perfected these ideas in his next few films? Thanks for watching.